Just kind of chill out for a minute. Wait till some people arrive.
You'll probably see me pop up in the as a viewer. So you got to pop out the chat so I can read it.
Yeah, I can't do both. Oh, you're gonna do the chat so you can see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be able to see it right here. I should. You would. All right, there's 3 people so far. All right, Spivey's here. Spivey is probably the first one. We got about 8 people now, 9.
Killing it.
All right, everybody. This is the first episode in Going Keto podcast. All right, we want to thank you guys. Over here is Walker. All right.
Hey guys, how you doing?
There you go. I'm Gonzo. A lot of you guys know both of us. If you don't, subscribe to his YouTube. It's called Blubbersphere. And mine, of course, is Going Gonzo Keto Diet. All right. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce, basically, give you our, kind of like our mission statement or something like that. And our mission statement will be, basically on how to help everybody with the ketogenic diet, how to get all this thing started, get it going, get it rolling. We're going to try to do a little bit of the questions and stuff at the end, but really we want to keep this as an introduction. We don't want to go too far into depth because each episode is going to be about a specific topic that we're going to do. And we're going to try to get about an hour with each one. And, you guys are going to get to know us. If you haven't already gotten to know us, and by the way, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell so that you get notifications when we do pop out one of these crazy episodes. All right, I'm gonna let Walker go ahead and introduce himself first. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy my coffee. Yeah.
So my name's Matt Walker. Like Steve said, I have a little tiny channel called Blubbersphere, where I document pretty much my weight loss. I hate the word journey, but it's what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's a journey.
So yeah, I document that, and I've been doing that for about 75 weeks now. So this is the 75th week, 76th week. And yeah, man, that's pretty. I'm doing keto at the moment, and I have been for about 6 months ish. So yeah, it seems to be going all right so far.
Someone says I need more light. It's true, but I usually rely on the sunlight right here, and good old Pennsylvania has let me down. It's 8:05. It's 8:05, and it is so cloudy out that it's pretty dark. Now I have my lamp on, I have my overhead light on, I have my kitchen lights on, but there's just no helping it. This is it. Unfortunately, this is it today. The lighting is just terrible. There's not much I could do about that.
See, everything our setup has been like the internet gods have been against us this entire time. For the last day and a half, been trying to figure out a way to go live on YouTube with split screen and all that sort of stuff. And then, I had to sacrifice an avocado to the internet gods to make it work. And Steve made it work in the end anyway, so it wasn't even my thing.
Yeah. You guys would not believe how barbaric YouTube is as far as a side-by-side, like this thing and having a side-by-side video. They don't have it. So what we're having to do, what we're having to do is record it, or we're live on a different type of broadcast, and then I literally have my phone right here in front, as you guys can see, recording my laptop as we record this on a different channel. It's just bizarre that YouTube, after all this, doesn't have a way to do this. It's just, I don't know what they're thinking.
It's nuts.
Yeah. How do you not have like 2 friends or something that can do this? It's not that hard, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I figured it out. Like, I've got OBS Studios or whatever, so you could do it split screen pretty easily. But then my internet's so trash that it just wouldn't happen. It'd just be lagging out all the whole time.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
All right. So as far as health reasons, what were some of the health reasons that you did it for?
So yeah, I was like 151 kilos, which was what's that? 350 pounds ish.
Yeah, it's up there.
So yeah, I was starting to get pre-diabetic, obviously, but yeah, just definitely unfit. Like coming from a coming from a background of being fairly sportsy and fit and stuff, playing rugby and all that sort of stuff. Gave up rugby and sport and then just put on a buttload of weight. And yeah, it was like I couldn't tie my shoes without being out of breath. I couldn't like run or walk anywhere. Like I'd just be constantly sleeping, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, like I never really got any. There was never really any health issues per se to begin with. But yeah, like there was the knee joints and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, that was the reason why I started losing weight in the first place. But it's taken on a whole new thing now. Like it's like I need to do it for longevity and all that sort of stuff now. So
yeah. Absolutely. Well, for me, the reason I did it was I have a family history. Okay, I have a bad family history. Both of my parents had major heart attacks. 4 years younger than what I am right now. All right. And both of them are passed away now. And so it's, I've had a sister that had a heart attack at 36. Now she wasn't necessarily overweight. She was like this kind of like skinny fat, and she'll probably get really mad when she sees this, but that's all right. But where she worked, they found her down on the floor, and they had to call the ambulance, and they did the little jump start on her chest, so in order to bring her back. So it was that bad.
Gave her the paddles.
Yeah, gave her the paddles. Gave her the little burns to prove it, or the marks,
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I'm drinking my bulletproof coffee, if anybody's wondering. People usually wonder what I'm drinking all the time. Oh, look at that. Dinosaur piss. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, fish piss.
Yeah, right. So what happened was I was at home, and I had been a U.S. Marine. I was in very good shape. I was a personal trainer at one time. I was most physically fit Marine award. There was a lot of things going on. I was doing really well. And all of a sudden I decided just to give it all up and get fat somehow. I guess I decided that, it wasn't something by choice, that's for sure. But what I did was I got so fat, and then the VA, the Veterans Administration, that's our veterans hospital here in the United States. They asked me to come in and do some routine blood work, and I did. So I got the cable guy coming to the house. I just bought this new 60-some-inch TV. I was all excited about it. And then this doctor, I just can't remember his name, but I wanted to punch him in the mouth. But he calls me up. He leaves a message. He says, "Hey, your blood work's back, and I think you need to come in so we could talk about this. It's pretty urgent." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What kind of message is this?" So I'm thinking I'm dying or something, He's like, "We need to talk face to face." And I'm like, "Holy crap! This guy doesn't want to give me bad news over the phone." So I tell my cable guy, which I waited for all morning. I said, "Dude, you gotta go." So I kick him out. I jump in the car. I race down there, and I go in, and I don't even wait to be checked in. I just walk in the back, and I'm like, "All right, what's going on?" And he goes, "Oh, you're overweight and you have a fatty liver." I was like, "Dude, get out of this office before I punch you in the nose." I literally had to tell him to leave. And I had to sit there in that little bitty waiting room, or that little bitty office space, and I had to just calm back down because I was mad. I was angry. It was like, dude, tell me something I don't already know. I know I was overweight. I was over 350 some pounds, 360 some pounds. I don't even remember actually. I don't have a lot of pictures from back then. It just irritated me so much. But of course, after that irritation ran out, I thought, okay, let me start figuring this stuff out, because when I get into something, I really have to get into it. I have to figure this thing out. I don't know about you, Walk, but to me,
it's slow for me. Like it's taken me a year plus to trying to learn about it. So it's like,
and I've been at this thing for almost 4 years. I've been at this for 4 years. So yeah, the experience it's not much different. Don't worry, it's really not. But so I sat there and I looked things up. I had already tried other gimmicks in the past that just let me down. Other doctors' advice that just was just horrible advice. It was just a big snowball of crap, you know. And so I stumbled upon a YouTube video where the bodybuilder was talking about the keto diet. Now he's dead now. He just recently died. I know. So yeah. He's like this huge. Yeah, I know, right? It's great advertisement. He's jacked. He's really muscular. But he would say anytime he wanted to lose a little bit of his body fat, he would go on the keto diet. I'm looking around the room and I'm like, what the hell is a keto diet? I never heard of it. And I had never heard of this thing. Never. And I was just like, so I start Googling it. I find this girl, Stephanie Person. She's like this ex-skateboarder out in California that's been doing keto. She was like kind of introducing keto. She had just started. That was probably her first year or something. There was not much else on the internet. There wasn't anything on YouTube for it at all. It was like I went to grocery stores and all the food that people were saying on the internet to get in my town, there wasn't anything. There wasn't, the butter wasn't around, the meat wasn't around. I was like, all right, so how am I going to do a diet that this, you know, this little town in middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, doesn't even have any of the food. So I was literally contacting people like 60, 70 miles away to send me butter. And I was like, because I went on Amazon, it was $30 to send one little thing of butter to my house. $30. And I had Amazon Prime. I'm like, what happened to free delivery? I guess it's not so free for butter.
Yeah. I think Australia's kind of the same thing where we're like kind of 10 years behind the rest of the world in the fact that like, yeah, same thing. Like only just now is it coming, like is the butter and stuff becoming more available. Like we still can't buy MCT oil from the grocery stores, like, or any of that stuff. He's got to like order it online or from even bone broth. Like I couldn't find bone broth the other day at this shopping center. You can only find stock. Yeah. So it was like, yeah, it's not that available.
Now,
then again, eggs and bacon are pretty accessible.
Now, your bacon, is it the same as ours, or is it like Great Britain's bacon?
No, man, it's like you guys got like this thin, like crispy bacon. Mm-hmm. Ours is like more like ham.
Yeah, why don't you just call it ham?
Got like a big, like to leave the eye on it, so it's like this big round part as well.
Yeah,
so that's the long streaky bit.
Yeah, that's not bacon. That's ham, man. That's ham. It's like that's ham. That's why you call it. It's like ham. Bacon. Yeah. Well, bacon is bacon. Anyway.
From the same magical animal.
Yeah. Probably the same part or whatever. Who knows where it comes from. I don't want to know. My wife is not a big eater. Anybody? What about your little ball and chain there?
She's in the chat, man. So you could probably ask her. She's there in the chat.
Oh, she is?
She's not that big of an eater. She'll go days without eating, and then
my wife's the same way.
Out on stuff and
yep.
But yeah, man, she not overweight at all.
No. Yeah. My wife's got an 8-pack. Literally, she has an 8-pack. Yeah. Her abs are like chiseled, and she's you know, she constantly teases me, like she lifts up her shirt and she shows me her little abs all the time, and I'm just like, yeah. I see him. I see him. Yeah. So, one time though, like she amazes me because we went to Philadelphia one day. This is back when I was eating carbohydrates like a fool, and we went to this place that was recommended in Philadelphia. It was for Philly cheesesteaks, and literally the cheesesteak was like this big. All right, and I'm talking like this big around. And what was it called? It was on like the corner of like this weird triangle corner called Broad and Erie down in North Philly. I can't remember. It's a neat little place, but there's Pat's, there's Geno's, there's all these famous places for Philly cheesesteaks, and supposedly they're crap compared to all these other places. So she and I went in there and we bought each we bought was this big giant freaking like 18-inch freaking Philly cheesesteak, just loaded down, cheese, like meat, bun, like giant bun and everything. and we decide we're going to eat some of it there. Well, like me, I eat the whole thing like it's nothing. And she's never eaten anything to completion. She always gets a doggy bag. We probably have like 5 different things in the refrigerator right now for leftovers that she has. She ate the whole thing. I was like, she's like 105 pounds, and she ate this whole sub. I looked over at her, and it was gone. And I was like, did you drop half of that on the floor? What happened? I'm looking under the table. I'm like, what'd you do? She goes, I was hungry. She goes, I was hungry. But, yeah, carbs, they suck. So, so carbs got me into this mess. I'm sure they got you into this mess.
Carbs and sugar, man.
Yeah, carbs and sugar.
Yeah,
I was.
It's not just that, but
yeah.
Main culprits.
Now, like exercise, people will always want to talk about exercise with the ketogenic diet, and we're going to get into that because I am a certified fitness trainer. I've been a certified trainer for decades.
You got a crazy gym at home too.
Yeah, I have a crazy gym. I got lucky with that, but I collected that stuff over time. It was nice, but yeah. So it's you can't just do the exercise right in the beginning, but we're going to get into all that. But like some of the causes for like the ketogenic diet, how it came about. I was looking all that stuff up years ago, and there was basically, as far as diets in America, a guy named Banting, Banting, Banting. He came out with literally the first diet ever written on paper, as far as like data, as far as like treatment, stuff like that for obesity, because he felt he was 50 pounds overweight, and his name was William Banting. He decided he was going to create a diet, and he literally came up with a low carb diet. That's what he came up with. And he's the very first diet ever recorded in history. It was 1867 in America. I'm sure there were other diets, there were other concerns, but as far as documented stuff, it just wasn't out there. His was the first one.
Yeah, right. I'm going to have to start taking notes, man, because I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and my brain doesn't retain any of it. So.
Yeah. Now here's the kicker. Yeah, here's the kicker. It was, and he passed away in like 1880 something. But his relative was this guy named Frederick Banting. Him and a medical student named Charles Best. They were the guys that created insulin. So not only was his great relative or great relative, wherever he might have been, the guy that created the first diet, but decades later, his relative comes up and creates insulin and wins a Nobel Peace Prize in 1921 because they tested it on dogs. They showed dogs having a high blood sugar. They gave them insulin, brought their blood sugar down to a normal level. So I don't know if that's a plus or a minus. You know, I really don't, because insulin,
definitely a plus for diabetics.
Well, yeah, but you know what the treatment was for a diabetic prior to 1921? Ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically 150 grams of fat, 75 grams of protein, and 10 grams of carbs. That was their treatment. That's the ketogenic diet. Yeah.
The very basics.
Yeah. And had we stuck with that 100 years ago, we may not be like we are right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I looked up statistics and I wrote them all down here. So excuse me for looking down over here at this, but overweight and obesity in Australia. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah.
Don't get mad. Yeah. Don't get mad. In 1995, it was 56.3%. In 2012, which is their latest study, 62.8% are either overweight or obese in Australia. I would have thought it was the same in the United States, but United States, and this is only one source, so it could be very wrong. It says it's 45% are overweight and obese. Now, I think whoever released that study, that's probably just obese because I go to Walmart.
Yeah,
I go to Walmart and I see these people, and you can't you can't go too many places in the United States, especially Pennsylvania, where you can't see every other person is obese.
Yeah, they can't hide.
No. No. And the more you get hooked on this diet, guys, the more you keep doing this diet, the more you're going to realize all these other people's bad habits, and you're going to see them, and you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe I was that way before. You know, it's just horrible.
Definitely. 60. What was it? 62%.
Yeah, 62.8. Don't forget the 0.8.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and it was 61.2 the year before, so it went up 1.6% in 1 year. 1 year.
So yeah,
of your entire population.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised.
No,
but at the same time, it's really shocking.
Yeah,
I mean, like there's a bunch of stuff like on the news like not long ago in Australia. Saying that Australia was taking over most other Western countries for obesity, and it was like, yeah, right, well, whatever. I mean, like that's cool, but with statistics like that, I guess you can't argue with it.
Yeah, it's bad. I think West Virginia is our worst state, and Colorado is our best. And Colorado just came out with legalizing cannabis recreationally, so you just. You wonder how soon they're going to be up there then, when those munchies kick in, they might catch up to West Virginia. Who knows? But some of the other things I was looking up was as far as sugar, because I believe sugar is the enemy of people. Period. As far as it causes so much inflammation in your body, it causes all the diseases. Basically, you have most of your diseases are inflammatory diseases, and they're finding that all these inflammatory diseases are caused by sugar. Like they tried to blame fat and cholesterol on heart disease, and now they're finding out that it's nearly 100% caused by excessive sugar. So what I did was I looked it all up, and it was like in the 1770s. Was the first time sugar was really brought over here to the United States, and it was really only for the rich people. So Europe had it already. Europe had it since 100 years before that, and they were already growing it and everything else. And the United States tried it with that Jonestown. It was a colony. It was like a colony that came to the United States. I think they came down into like North Carolina or something like that, and they tried to colonize the United States then. And it was long before that 1770, but it was and they tried to grow sugarcane, and it didn't happen. They couldn't even grow it. So we had to ship it in from places like Spain and England and Portugal and stuff like that. And then we ended up getting it from the Caribbean and stuff like this. But in that time, in the 1770s, they have a recorded amount that only about the average American used about 4 pounds of sugar a day or a year. A year, I think it was a year, wasn't it?
A day.
Yeah, a year. Yeah, a year. 4 pounds a year, and now we consume about 150 to 160 pounds a year per person. Per person. Now, you would think. All these
statistics?
Yeah. What's that?
Where did you find all these statistics?
Google. So it must be true. It's got to be true.
Yeah, it has to be true.
But I try to double check them, and I found it. It's like that's in New England Journal of Medicine. There's stats on that. It's easy to keep these things, but like U.S. recommended daily allowance for an American on sugar is 25 grams for a woman and 38 for a man. Yeah, that averages out to about 66 pounds of sugar a year. Wow. So the U.S. is telling people to eat 66 pounds of sugar a year. Now, in 1900, we were averaging 600 or 60 pounds of sugar a year. So, yeah, and if you remember your relatives, they didn't look like us. They weren't 300 and some pounds and stuff like that. Ooh. It was just no. Close. No, it wasn't even heard of. So
Used to cook with lard and stuff. It was great.
Yeah.
I'm going around to my grandparents' house and loving their food. It was all cooked in fat and fat stuff.
Yeah, when I was growing up, we had a griddle, a real long griddle that we would scrape off the grease and pour it and put it into this big coffee can. And we would use that every morning we would make stuff like, we would make bacon in the morning. We would make eggs every morning. I was
swim in it.
Yeah. We were just programmed to eat. Yeah. And we had to make our own. Now, like our parents were sitting there, but we had to come down and make our own breakfast. We had to be kind of like self-sufficient at that. And I don't know, people nowadays, they even make their kids a bowl of cereal, which is the downfall.
Sugar and carbs.
Yeah.
There's Uber Eats that can bring you your quadruple heart attack burger straight to your door.
Exactly. Yeah. Now cereal, for one, that was created in Battle Creek, Michigan. That's literally where almost every brand of sugar started at, was Battle Creek, Michigan. Like Kellogg's, Post. You guys have Senator over there, right? Does that make any sense?
Senator? No.
Yeah.
I think I've had that one.
Yeah, I think that was the number one brand when cereal first started over in Australia. It was called Senator. And this lady named Ellen White, she was a Seventh-day Adventist. Seventh-day Adventists basically started cereal. So all the cereal that you see today, it's all started by the Seventh-day Adventists. Kellogg was a Seventh-day Adventist. This lady, Ellen White, was. This guy, Alexander Anderson, who started this wellness center there in Battle Creek, Michigan. But like grape nuts and shredded wheat and all this other cereals and stuff, they all started there. Puffed rice, Kix cereal. All your brands came out of Battle Creek, Michigan. So if I could go back in time, I would just erase Battle Creek, Michigan off the map. And say, stop, you guys.
Bomb the whole place.
Yeah, you guys got a great eagerness to help people, but what you're doing is 100 years from now, we're all going to be fat because we ate cereal as a kid for like every meal of the day.
Yeah. I was sent to school every day. After this probably. I was sent to school every day with a Vegemite sandwich.
Oh, Vegemite
bread.
That's funny.
Buy a Vegemite, one white bread every day from school, and then I'd have cereal before I went, which was Wheat Bix, which was literally just like, have you seen Weetabix or Wheat Bix?
Mm-hmm.
It's like literal blocks of wheat.
Yeah, that's shredded wheat. That's the same as ours. Yeah.
Yeah, have that in milk, and then I used to put honey on it. So there's like sugar, carbs, and milk, and then go to school, have white bread with Vegemite on it, and then come home and have dinner, and maybe have a late night snack as well, or dessert or whatever as well.
Yeah.
So no wonder why I got so large.
Right, exactly. And for me, I would come home from school to watch cartoons before my mom or anybody got home from work. And I would start out with this mixing bowl of awful cereal that my mom used to buy us. Had no flavor whatsoever. So me, kid, I pour in like this much sugar. And literally there was probably this much sugar in the bottom of that milk. Like this much sugar. And I would scoop it out with spoons at the end. And that milk was so sweet, and I was just loving it. And then I even ended up doing that once I even hit like Captain Crunch berries. Once I was allowed to get those, the older I got, I was allowed to eat worse cereal. That was like a bonus.
You got your cereal license.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, as a society, we don't understand that all this food that we've been eating and all this food that we're giving our kids and all this food that we think is healthy, it just isn't as healthy as we thought. And you can't explain to people that this is very unhealthy. You do not need carbohydrates. You do not need cereals. You don't need to eat all this sugar. But most people out there will be like, you're crazy, because this is all they've ever known. That's it. All they've ever known is, let's eat sugar, let's eat this. Everything's processed.
Carbs for energy and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Carbs for energy. As if there's no other source of energy out there. I guess we've been eating like the complex carbohydrates and the simple carbohydrates as a society only for about a little over 100 years. It hasn't even been around that long, you know? Like
Yeah.
like they act like we've been farmers our whole existence, and we haven't. Like a couple 100 years, and we've gone from increasing our population to now decreasing our population. Like
Sure.
I did this. I saw this study where they test like longevity of life, and I don't know how long they've been doing it, over 100 years. And every year, that next year lives a little bit longer than the previous year, and they keep testing it, and it's always been that way. Every year, then that year lives just a little bit longer than the year before. The next year, a little bit longer, a little bit longer. Well, the last 2 years are the first time in history that they've been doing this, that we're actually going to live less than the previous years. So, and their finding was our eating habits. It wasn't about lack of exercise, or those people back in the day just worked harder. That's not true. We have a gym on every corner. They didn't even have gyms. You know, the amount of exercise.
24/7 as well.
Yeah, the amount of exercise we put in on a daily basis now clearly exceeds what people did on a regular basis. Because back in the day, it was the husband that worked and the wife that stayed home, and wives weren't fat either. You know what I mean? They just if that were the case, then the men that went out and worked and the women that came home and cleaned and did all. Granted, that's probably harder work than what the husband did anyway, but the fact that one of them wasn't obese, it just goes to prove that it wasn't about the output of the energy or the work that they were doing. It was about the nutrition and the eating habits. That's a cool mic, man. You look all professional with that microphone.
Hey? I've got several of them.
Oh, geez.
Podcasting. I did have these big red things on the end, but I thought it looked a little sus. But yeah, they're not bad. You need to get one.
I know, right? I think it's pretty clear here. Let's see.
I keep biting my tongue because, you told me before I had to be on my best behavior, so I keep.
Yeah. Well, you gotta just filter it just a little bit. You could still be funny without.
Oh, yeah.
Scaring everybody off.
To cut down on the F-bombs and to not talk about people's genitals.
Yes.
I thought that's 90% of my speech patterns.
Yeah.
That's all I talk about, right?
Well, your channel is your channel. You can do that. But we're trying to attract people here and entertain them. So yeah, you gotta find another way. But I have full confidence in you that you're going to entertain as many people as you can. You're a very entertaining dude.
Confidence.
Yeah, you're funny, man. Hey, everybody's here too.
Has more than half of my entire subscribers, so I'm almost stoked with that. We had this in 3 days, and I've had that channel for a year.
Do you know a girl named Katarina Anderson?
Katarina Anderson.
She's from Canberra. Isn't Canberra?
Oh, dude, that's like 6 hours away.
Well, it's still Australia. I figured she might have been from your channel.
Still on this side of the world, yeah.
Yeah. Blubbersphere is here, by the way, just to let you know.
Hey?
Blubbersphere is here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the...
Have a chat.
Yeah. Ali Mo from Italy is here. A lot of people... Yeah, we're international, buddy. We're going big time here. Cindy Brown and Spivey are here. Spivey's from Wales. Cindy, I think, she's United States, but we got them all. We're tracking all over.
I don't know if my missus is still there. I think the lady friend is still lurking, possibly.
Yeah.
She's Kiwi.
New Jersey's here. Yeah, everybody, if you could just check off where you're based out of, that'd be kind of interesting. I'm curious where everybody's coming. Did you see the New Jersey one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. California, Cindy Brown. California. I'll be there in 8 years. Jennifer's from Quebec.
I stop you always
Yeah.
from saying that I'm from Sydney, because like I'm from Newcastle, and it's 2 hours to Sydney, and Sydney's a what's the word? I can't even think of a word that's not a swear.
Hey.
Sydney's sweaty spaghetti. It's mess.
Oh, it is?
It's a great place.
That's
Sorry.
awful.
It's a great place.
See where all these people are from? We got like, let's see, New Jersey, California, Quebec, South Dakota, British Columbia, Tennessee, San Antonio, Texas, New Zealand, but based next to Walker.
Yeah, that's my misso.
That's who your sister? Who'd you say that was?
It's my missus.
Oh, that's your missus? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said that was your sister. I was like,
No.
wow. Okay, they do it different in Australia. Italy,
very different.
Wales. Yeah, all we need is somebody from like South Africa. Oh, and speaking of South Africa, a person I met at the Dr. Eric Westman seminar that I went to a couple weeks back down in Virginia was this guy named Glenn. Him and his sister Glenn and Lisa, they own this company called Adapt Your Life, and it's products that help you with keto, which I actually have some right here. All right, it's like this stuff right here. Let me see if I can get that closer. See, that's some of the stuff right there. I don't know, is that backward? I always wonder if that's backwards or upside down or however. That's the nutrition label there of it. The bars are pretty small though, okay? And you're allowed basically about 2 of these a day. So that's it. They're kind of like fat bombs, kind of, I would say. Their closest thing I could think of is what they really are, is like 2 fat bombs in one little thing. All right, because my fat bombs are about half the size of this thing. So, but they taste better than any fat bomb I ever came out. Now, this guy, Glenn, he's from South Africa. Great guy. They also put on all the Dr. Eric Westman seminars. And a lot of what I learned was through Dr. Eric Westman. And I credit him for a lot of the stuff that he helped me with. And Glenn said he would actually is willing to come on and talk to us and do an interview. No.
To us.
Yeah, to
Not
us.
to you.
To us, to me, but you and me are now us. So, yeah, we're a team now, brother. I don't know if you realize that, but that's starting that today. We're a team now. Yeah. So
Sure.
what happens to us happens to both of us. All but yeah, it's cool. Yeah. We got about 20 minutes left. So I was curious if anybody had any questions as far as the group, not necessarily about your keto journey as of right now, because we are going to get into everything, but we're going to do it in a step-by-step format. Let me just go by telling you that. So we're introducing what ketogenic is so that people understand. That's today. Come tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we're doing the next one. You're frozen? I think he's frozen.
Yeah. Friday, tomorrow. Yeah, so
but for you
Friday
it's Saturday, right?
Saturday for me.
Yeah, Saturday for you.
Yeah, Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's Friday for me here, and I think that live is late, right? No, that's like for me that's 5 p.m. and I think it's
that's in the
7
afternoon for you guys and 7 a.m. for me.
Yeah, 7 a.m. for you, and it's 5 p.m. here. So, and what we're going to talk about then is basically how to start the ketogenic diet, okay? So we're going to get to all this stuff in stages so that if you are, say you're stalled right now, you'll be able to go back and say, okay, here's how the basics started again. Because honest to God, when I did it, the basics, I forgot some of the basics. And I had to go back, and when I went back, I realized that I had slowly implemented some of my old bad habits into the ketogenic diet without even knowing it. So when I went back and I said, how did I do all this back in the day? And I looked, and sure enough, I started to screw the thing up. I started screwing up the miracle, and it sucked.
Yeah.
So
when I first started keto as well, I didn't know what I was doing. So I was basically carb cycling without even knowing it, basically. So I just didn't have the knowledge, and so I started and did it for like 3 or 4 months, but was doing it wrong, so it wasn't working.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I stuck at it. But yeah, just didn't have the knowledge to make it work, which was frustrating.
Yeah, yeah. And it does get frustrating. The ketogenic diet, I tell people, and we'll get into it more in other episodes, but it's just something you have to keep continuing to do, because once you realize that sugar, like we talked about right now, sugar and carbohydrates are actually causing you to get sick, causing you to get fat, causing you to you know, all your energy levels to drop, your metabolism to be you know, screwed with so badly that what can you go back to? You know, once you realize all that carbs and sugars are killing you, do you really just say, well, this ketogenic diet's just not making me lose weight, I'm just going to go back to eating carbs and sugars? And if you fully understand the ketogenic diet, you'll never go back. You know, you just never will.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
For sure.
Yeah. Man, you look all professional and stuff. Except you look like you're going to go rob an ATM or something. But other than that, you got all your black on. You got to put your black gloves on, and you'll be going out like a little cat burglar or something. Yeah.
Get your money somehow.
Yeah, right. There you go. So, all right. So go ahead. I've been talking way too much. It's your turn.
So there's some questions in the questions chat, if you want to go through that. So is it Christina Jones? What's your thoughts on bulletproof coffee and the keto diet? Is it bulletproof coffee?
We're going to go over those things, but for right now, yep. I just drank mine, like in the beginning. I drank mine, and this is what it says. It says, my wife got me this. It says, this coffee is making me amazing or awesome. Yeah, awesome. I'm good with the keto coffee or the bulletproof coffee, whatever you guys want to call it, because it's a good way to get fats in without getting in too much proteins and too many carbohydrates.
Well, some people might be shocked by it, but I to this day still don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
No.
Really?
I don't like the taste. I don't know what it is. It might be the child in me or something, but that's taste. I don't like the taste of coffee, so I don't drink bulletproof coffee. So it's a bit strange for me to think of putting butter in my drinks.
Yeah. I didn't drink coffee until I started this diet 4 years ago. And, you know, I was probably then, I was what, 44, 45 years old. And I hadn't drank coffee all my life. My wife was a constant coffee drinker. And, you know, I never put two and two together. She eats anything she wants, and she still drinks coffee, and she's shredded. A lot of it could be some of her genetics, could be that she eats like a bird half the time. But, you know, I started to drink the coffee. I started to look up this bulletproof stuff, and I kind of like it. Now, some people, you know, you don't. He needs a keto shirt, somebody said. Yeah,
definitely need a keto shirt.
Dude, I've got...
Is that today's keto shirt?
This is today's keto shirt. It's Keto University. So we're learning keto today. So I kind of stick with the themes. Yeah. Yeah, I always stick with the theme. Like, what am I going to talk about today? All right, let me pull out a shirt that will show that. Because I was looking at the one shirt I was going to grab today, and it was one that says 75 I think it was either 75, 20, and 5, or it was 70, 25, and 5. But either way, it's basically, it's just the numbers for the ketogenic diet. And I thought, well, I'm not getting into that today, so I'll just wear this one. So this is what I put on.
You have to start making your own soon.
I have some, and it's going to cost me about $650 for a few of these shirts. Yeah. And I'm thinking about it. I just don't know.
This podcast has got to go a lot better than 100 subscribers.
Yeah. And you know, we're free, so we're not making a lot of money at this. And YouTube doesn't pay you until you have over 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours. So
I've given up on old YouTube and monetization.
Yeah, and the thing is that they don't even pay you after that. You know what I mean? They're supposed to, they said. I have almost 3,000 subscribers, and I have like 5,700 viewing minutes or viewing hours. So I passed their their new criteria as of January 2018, and I've asked them, you know, if they want to run ads on my show, and literally they say, "Oh, we'll reply in a week," and they never reply. What is this now? We're going into May, and it was the 1st of January. In that first part of January, I contacted them, and they're like, they haven't ever replied, man. They just say, we're busy. So it's like, okay, but how come I see all these other people not busy, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's what adds on this stuff.
So yeah, so really, I do this because of it's helping a lot of people, and I love helping a lot of people. I just saw like a big flash. I don't know if the sun just decided to pop up or whatever it decided to do, but
well, on my way home from work this afternoon. Speaking of big flashes,
yeah.
On my way home from work, it just started thunderstorming like crazy, and like half of the suburb close by was out of power. I was like, oh no, like another thing to stop us from doing this podcast.
Oh jeez.
But it turned out all right. It stopped right an hour before we started. So.
Now, is it getting cold there?
No, it's like 17 degrees, like Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Hang on. 17 degrees Celsius. 62.6. So it's not that.
Oh, your missus said Walker just dresses like that. Oh. 60 something, Jennifer said. There you go. Yeah, 62 degrees. Yeah, like here, I think we're in the 40s right now or something like that. What did that just say on our screen? Did you see it? Did anybody read that? What did that say? Anybody? I don't know if anybody saw it. I just saw it light up. What did it say? It said something weird.
Yeah,
like right across the middle.
It's not getting cold, but I wear hoodies and a beanie like 90% of the year. So it's not unusual for me to be wearing all this sort of stuff.
Oh, it said connection unstable. Yeah, but who cares? It's still working. So, yeah, if you guys couldn't see that connection right here, then you wouldn't be seeing this connection right here. So it's all good. We are down to 8.
Somebody as stable as the person using it, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, my wife got me this shirt, Unstable Genius. So, yeah. So I was like, what is this supposed to mean? And she was like, I thought it was funny. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm a bit blurry. Yeah, a bit blurry. It's my Australian internet. It's because I'm not connected to the national broadband network.
Well, you're blurry because of my iPhone. You're on my computer. You're clear as can be. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just the iPhone sucks. Like they claim it. They claim it's a great camera and it picks up great, but here it is like a foot away and it's not so great. It's not picking shit up very good. I can't even tilt it right to make it look good. Anyway, we probably can get ready to close this one down. This one's probably just getting ready to be over with. It's basically run its course. So a recap with me, I've lost probably now like 150 pounds doing this. I did have a medical scare, which made me gain some weight back, and then I re-lost some of that back down. But most of you guys know about that medical issue. It had nothing to do with the ketogenic diet. It was all about my stupidity, not listening to my wife when my pain in my right side was really bad, and I let my appendix rupture. So, yeah, I was stupid, but still functional. Like I would have thought, if your appendix ruptures, yeah, people say, oh, if your appendix ruptures, you're gonna know it. I was at work on the range, firing my pistol, firing my shotgun, qualifying that morning in cloudy, rainy weather like this, and I was just like shooting away, and I beat these guys next to me that were all these super marksmen. I beat them with the shotgun, and he's like, huh, how'd you beat me? And I was just like, huh, imagine that, you got beat, you know? And then I went over, I sat on the picnic table, and I just kind of like, my side hurts, you know? But there were times where it didn't hurt. And it wasn't until my captain came up to me and said, hey, Gonzo, you still got that pain in your side? Which I had for like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, yeah. And he said, why don't you just leave and go to the doctor? And I said, well, I told the wife I'd go afterwards. And he said, why don't you just go now? You know, we don't have anything for the next 4 or 5 hours. And, you know, you might as well go now. All right, sir, I'll go. So I drive myself over to the hospital. I sit at the waiting room. I walk in. I tell them, I said, yeah, I got pain in my side I've had for a couple of days. And they're like, okay. They come in, they check a fever, no fever, you know, everything's good. All right, we're going to put you in for an MRI or a CAT scan, whatever it was. And they put me through the little test and they check it all out. And then I'm sitting in the little emergency room on the gurney, just sitting there, looking around, looking at all the medical knowledge around me. And they, like, 4 people walk in, and they start kicking my gurney and unlocking it and start wheeling me out the room. And I was like, what's going on? And they're like, we're going to surgery. And I was like, right now? Yep. Your appendix ruptured. It's already leaking. This is bad. And I was like, do I have time to call my wife? And they're like, you can do it on the way. So literally I'm on my phone wheeling down, and everybody seems to be in a rush. And I'm like, I feel fine, you know, I don't feel bad. And then I call my wife and I say, I'm going into surgery. She's like, well, I'll come see you before you go in. I was like, too late. And boom, I'm already in the operating room. And I said, here's my phone. I said, here's my leg. You know, I'm taking off my leg, which, yeah, you know, how many people take off their leg and say, oh, here's my leg.
Just hold on to this for a bit. Yeah,
yeah, and this is my old leg. This is not my current, this is my beach going leg. See, I got my beach shoe
on it?
Yeah, it's got a beach shoe on it and everything. Here, I'll show you my regular. This is my current leg right here.
Your current leg?
Yeah, my current leg. This is my current leg.
Mate, you're legless.
Yeah. So this is
nice.
it. Yeah, nice, right? Look at all that high-tech stuff. All this.
How often do you change the shoe? Do you change the shoe every day?
No, whenever you change your shoes, whenever you want. You can put whatever shoe on it you want. It's not like it's fixed.
I just keep one shoe on it the whole time.
I do. Most of the time I do. Like my black shoe for work, I usually just keep them on. But like I've been off for 3 days. And today's day 4, so I get tired of wearing the same shoes every day.
For sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was my medical scare. The doctor told me, he said, whoever sent you from work to here saved your life. He said, because I woke up. Yeah, I woke up in the ICU. I spent like 3.5 days in the intensive care unit. And the operation, instead of being one of these half-hour, 45-minute zips, go in with a small little incision and snip it out, they ended up gutting me, a cut about like that. And it took 3.5 hours in the operating room. So, yeah, it got pretty bad. So I didn't know you could die from it. I thought you can get sick, but I didn't know you can die. So, yeah. So
go toxic and die.
Yeah, it's amazing. So that captain saved my life, amazingly enough. I know, and then it sucks because now you kind of like, thank you, sir. You can't ever be mad at that captain anymore. Like when he says, hey, you're gonna do this stupid shit at work, and you're like, that's okay. You saved my life 2 years ago. You know what I mean? You're like, what can you do? You can't say nothing. You're like,
against you too, yeah.
You're like, you're right. I'm going to do that stupid thing because I'm alive today to do that stupid thing because you saved my life. So,
and he knows it too.
And he knows it, yeah. But he's a
Gonzo coffee now.
Yeah. He's a great guy. He's awesome. I have nothing ever bad to say about that guy. I didn't before, and you know, I'm just joking now, but I don't have it against him now. So
sure.
Yeah, but this kind of wraps up our episode, man.
Sweet.
Yeah. So you made it.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't die.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I thought I was going to die of embarrassment.
No.
It's my first live. He took my live cherry
Yep, there it is. Took it away. Yeah, that's me. So, like I said, you guys, we're coming back again. Uh, Regardless of how popular this ends up being, we'll be back again tomorrow for you guys in the United States. It'll be tomorrow at 5 p.m. And for Australia,
Saturday at 7 a.m.
7 a.m. There you go.
Sparrow Parts.
Yep. So we're going to try and do this at least once a week, but hopefully we could pop in one during the week. Okay. Just randomly sometimes because my schedule sucks. Now Walker's schedule is probably pretty fixed. Mine is all over the board. Mine just sucks. Like some days I'm off on a Tuesday and some weeks I'm not. Thursdays sometimes I'm off. I'm not even off every other weekend, so it just gets really bad. So anyway, I want to thank everybody that showed up. On the replay, we're going to save this on our site, and people are going to be able to watch this. And if you could actually share this podcast with your friends, it would be awesome. Okay, and we want to get as many people following this as we can, so that we could help more people to understand keto, to help them with their journey, which he doesn't like the word, but that's our goal. Our mission, yeah, it's mission for you people over across the giant pond or whatever the people in Australia.
Across the pond?
Yeah, you ever hear that?
We're not England, but
yeah, it's across the pond over there, but you guys are across like the bigger pond over here, maybe the lake, the big lake.
Thank you, Cindy Brown, for giving me props on not swearing or anything.
Did she? You were so good, no cussing or anything. Yeah.
I don't think I even let out one, but I didn't do much talking though either. I got to do some more research.
You did. You did great. You did great.
Did I swear?
But our next episode is how you start the ketogenic diet. So if that interests you, and hopefully it does, if you think it interests somebody you know, some loved ones, share with them this episode. Let them know what our next one is going to be about, and we will see you guys there. Any closing words there, Mr. Walker? No.
Sure.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
See yous.